the time you spent brushing your teeth, planes of the Air Transport Command were busy flying a distance of 5,000 miles. Right now, in the time you spend looking at this issue of the Screen magazine, your air transport planes are flying a distance equal to twice around the world. And between this minute and this same time tomorrow, they will have carried their cargoes 120 more times around the world. This was our Navy when we entered the war. 1,076 ships, combat and non-combat. Many of these ships have since been sunk. The Pacific, the Atlantic, the Mediterranean. Question: how many ships do we have today? Answer: 14 times as many as we had when we started, thanks to the men and women working in United States shipyards. Here's one for the books, about your ally China. The pay of a private in the Chinese Army is the equivalent of 52 cents a month. He has been fighting the Japanese for 6½ years. In these 6½ years, the Chinese soldier has earned $40.56 and the respect of the entire civilized world. In all U.S. Army posts, one of the most serious problems is fire. Of all the fires that cause damage in U.S. Army posts, 17% are started by, guess what? Soldiers smoking in bed.
A very interesting figure.
And that ain't no exaggeration!
This is a picture of you, the average American soldier. Nothing unusual, but there are some things you may not know about yourself that are pretty amazing. For example, you are 5 inches taller and 20 pounds heavier than any knight of King Arthur's Round Table. You know more about maps and compasses than Christopher Columbus. You are a more accurate shot with your rifle than Daniel Boone himself. And with your automatic weapons, you have greater firepower than a whole platoon of Napoleon's finest. And in addition to all this, you know more about making beds than the average American housewife. All in all, you're quite a guy. In fact, you're quite a lot of guys. How far does a bullet travel before it hits a Jap? 150 yards? A little bit further. The bullet starts to travel here, back home in the mines and the mills, when the parts of the unmade bullet begin their journey to the factory. Total distance to the factory, 11,700 miles. Finished bullet shoves off for California. 3,000 miles more. Across the Pacific to Australia. Add another 6,700 miles. Then 2,100 miles by air, by truck, by mule, and up to the front on the back of a man. And this is where we came in. Range, 150 yards, plus 23,500 miles. casualties, not caused by bullets, caused by sickness, avoidable sickness. In the United States Army, one of the great causes of sickness is diarrhea and dysentery. One of the greatest causes of diarrhea and dysentery is the dirty mess kit.
Chow! Come and get it!
Attaboy, fill her up.
As I was saying, dirty mess kits.
And you ain't kidding, brother.
Pardon me while I blow about the U.S. Navy. Take our newest battle wagon, the great Iowa class. Everything's tremendous, even the anchors. Each hook weighs as much as a tank. How safe are they from air attack? Compared to any battleship of 3 years ago, these new babies throw up an umbrella more than 100 times the size. The Iowa whips up enough juice to furnish a city of 20,000 with all its power and light. And speaking of lighting up cities, these ships are built to do a little lighting job on the cities of Japan. One ship tosses shells at the rate of 1,200 tons per hour, a payload equal to the bomb load of 300 flying forts. So, do you mind if I blow?
Hell no. Let's all blow.
The most useful piece of equipment the American soldier carries isn't GI. He brought it into the Army with him, and he carries it here, right under his bucket. This is the gadget that runs the show, steers all the jeeps, fires every shot. While the soldier's brain is winning the war, in its spare time, it's preparing for peace. Thousands of men are getting set now for good post-war jobs. Courses in more than 600 college, high school, and technical subjects are being sent out daily by the U.S. Armed Forces Institute to American soldiers all over the world. Courses in everything: carpentry, bookkeeping, chemistry, plumbing, art, mathematics, and engineering. Thanks to the Armed Forces Institute, the brain that the American soldier took into the Army will be of greater value to himself on the day he takes it home. GI shoes. 2 pair to every man. Multiply by the number of men in the services, and you've got a lot of leather. Put into one piece, it would cover 2,893 acres. This hunk of hide cost the nation $75 million. Yet, every month, acres of this leather are burned up by soldiers who try to dry wet shoes by giving them the hot foot.
Listen, pal, you can't eat 'em. Why cook 'em?
Chaplins received in action, for heroism in action, for gallantry in action beyond the call of duty. Decorations in every combat unit prove that men who've got what it takes are giving more than what it takes. But there's one group of men that does its big job unarmed. These are the men of the Chaplin Corps, with one of the highest percentages of honors in the Army. In the 34th Division alone, with 15 chaplains, 11 have been decorated. 1 Distinguished Service Cross, 4 Purple Hearts, 2 Legion of Merits, and 4 Silver Stars. In this division, and in all divisions, the work of the chaplains brings honor to themselves. And this work carries the spirit of their faiths to every front.
No time, no slide, no piercing fire. Do say, not say, Monte fire.
What the Axis enjoys counting are the American soldiers killed and injured by accidents. And there's plenty to count. This sort of thing. This is saving Hitler bullets. This sort of thing. This makes the American Army smaller. Lifting heavy objects the wrong way is causing hernia. And every American hernia means one soldier lost for service.
Flimsy, sexy, no fine wonder.
American fighting men swim where they shouldn't. So they cease being fighting men. Sometimes American soldiers do rather strange things.
Just a little pillow fight.
And then there's always the warrior who falls asleep in his chariot. These and hundreds of other types of avoidable accidents are mounting up. And the sound of the accident adding machine is music to the ears of the enemy. American bombers, 1,000-plane raid. In a single operation of this size, the gasoline used up would keep your old family jalopy running. Yep, still running day and night for 71 years.
Hot diggity! What a ride!
When this guy was stationed in the United States, his pay didn't look like very much. But over here, it looks a lot bigger, especially to the people who live here and buy in this little store. Then you come along. You make a purchase. Your friends get the same idea. The stockpile gets smaller. The price gets bigger. About all there's left for the townspeople is the great big price. Multiply this scene a few thousand times, and you get an idea of what happens. Money. Money without buying power. Money shot to hell. If you throw less of that money around and salt some of that money away, it will not only help the people who live here, but it'll help you later on.
If we are to believe the storybooks, those were the good old days when men really were brave. Then the world was inhabited by a fearless breed of men, men afraid of absolutely nothing.
That's right. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing?
Absolute.
Practically nothing.
Yes, ever since the world began, men have been scared. The brave knights of old had those same cold beads of perspiration. Their hair stood on end. Their hands got clammy. Their hearts pounded. Their stomachs flopped and bounced. Frighten them and they got keyed up too, being normal human beings. Scare a man and automatically his fear machinery starts rolling, wakes him up all over, and prepares him to recognize the danger. Nerves go into action and wake up a couple of glands. The glands come through with a shot of adrenaline, and all hell breaks loose. But it all makes sense. Nerve cells get hopped up. You see more clearly. You hear more keenly. Muscles tense. Your body's ready to act and act fast. But to act at top speed calls for extra energy. That's where the liver comes in. This is the fuel tank. The fuel is sugar. And here's where it's stored. Getting scared gets it out. Out through the bloodstream to your muscles that need it. To get it there quicker, your heart pumps faster and you breathe harder, bringing in more oxygen to change that sugar into strength. And here we are. Scared? Yes, but ready. Ready either to get away from the danger or stay and fight with extra strength. That's the best thing about fear. You can make it work for you instead of against you.